Alright, I'm here in the garden today. We're going to do a few more things harvesting. Our tomatoes, I think some of our peppers may be ready to pick, and just a quick tour of some of the things that we got going on out here in our vegetable garden. So let's just check out what's going on behind me here. Here we got the one last variety of garlic. This is the Turkish Giant here. We're gonna pull up. As you can see, the scapes, we left these on. I didn't harvest these. Once they start shooting straight up, that's another sign that they're ready. So we're gonna pull all these up here and see what we get. Our asparagus fern, and look who's hiding out under there. Molly, what are you doing? As you can see, they like to take shelter in the summer heat as well. And our asparagus bed makes a nice little covering there for them. Alright, here in our tomato bed, and if you can see on the video here, there's quite a few tomatoes that are ready and ripened, ready to pick on the vine here. Let me see if I can get out here and get a little bit closer view of them here. Here are some of the smaller ones. These are the Sun Sugar, and these things are just delicious. This is probably one of my new favorite varieties we've tried this year. Highly recommend y'all try these. Very sweet, tasty tomato. Come over here, you can see this tomato's got several ready to pick. This is the Valley Girl. So we got a few there to pick off. Come over this way, this tomato's loaded. It's got several on the vine ready to pick here. I'm not sure what variety this is actually, but it looks like a maybe Cherokee Purple or Brandywine. Come over this way. Here's another tomato. Here's some more tomatoes that are ready on the vine here. Vine ripened, ready to go. Two very nice looking tomatoes. Here's another one here. Not sure what happened to this vine on this one. Looks like it got some disease or something. Not quite sure about that. Interesting. Here's a real nice yellow tomato here. Actually, it's called Orange Blossom is this tomato. I've already picked a few of these tomatoes on this plant, so this one's doing quite nice for us. Of course, over here the yellow pear. These smaller variety tomatoes always do great for us. We got a ton of these sweet 100s here on the vine. Over here is our pole beans. As you can see, they have just shot up and are growing past my trellis. If it was taller, they would grow taller. Got to get out and pick these. You can see they got a Kentucky Wonder pole bean. I like to pick these younger before they get too tough. And they'll have quite a large bean in them if you let them grow longer. Here's some more over here. So quite a few beans on our trellis here. I got another variety over here. Let me see if I can find some beans to show you. This is the purple pole bean. These are pretty cool looking. They actually turn green when you cook them, so they don't stay purple once they are cooked. But they are growing like crazy here as well. As you can see, there's some in here growing. So we've got quite a bit of pole beans here to harvest. Got my wife over here picking all these pole beans. You can see she has a nice selection of them here. Looking really good. Here on this trellis is where we had our sugar snap peas, pulled those up. This is now our summer spinach that'll survive through the summer. This is the Malabar spinach, which will hopefully start trellising up. As you can see, this one here is already starting to go up the trellis. It's got a little bit of bug damage. We'll take care of that soon. So we'll see how that goes. And then over here with all the weeds, which I gotta get out of here and do some more cleaning. This is actually the start of the scarlet runner bean. See, we have help with the chickens, helping us keep the bugs out of the garden. She's in the search through all the tomato vines here. Look like she's having a grand old time in there. Now over here on this bed, this thing is just growing crazy. I don't think there's nothing quite ready out here yet. But as you can see, these are all different melons. They're growing crazy. I actually have some beans on this 2 rows. You can see we've got a few beans growing here. And there's a whole bunch more here to pick. Quite a bit of beans actually on this plant. So I'll get picking all these beans here in a second. See, our sunflowers are growing nicely. Got our sweet potatoes, a few slips. We're just gonna let these grow, do its thing. It can climb up this fence if it wants to. So first year to grow sweet potatoes. Never grown them before. We'll see what happens. Just gonna let them do their thing there. These are different varieties of melons. We've got some summer squash here somewhere. Nothing quite on them yet. They're still a little bit early. We planted these a little bit later than I would have liked, along with some winter squash in here as well. And over here, well, this is all of the watermelon vines that is just growing crazy, which is a good thing. Hopefully we'll get a watermelon or 2 this year, as well as more sunflowers growing up and up and up. Now our Swiss chard, as you can see here, is being destroyed by our chickens. We grew plenty for them, but they've literally eaten it all up. That's really about the only thing they're chewing up out here, which is fine. I actually have some Swiss chard in the front yard flower beds, so we'll use that for ourselves. Here's our pepper plants we have here. We've got some peppers already on the vine. This is a banana pepper here growing. They're looking pretty good. Over here, this one is Tabasco pepper. Make our own Tabasco sauce, hopefully. So, quite loaded on here as well. This one fell over, so I had to put a little stake on it. A bell pepper. Another one here. These are nice looking peppers as well, growing on this one. I have to put a stake on this one too. These peppers are so heavy, the plants are just falling over. as you can see. Come over to this one, you can see there's several peppers starting to grow here, as well as some flowers on there as well. A lot of peppers on this one too. This is the habanero plant. Got a serranos. This one's actually quite loaded with peppers. I have to get out here and pick some of these. Quite a few serranos on that one. Then here, this one is our jalapeno pepper plant. It's got quite a few peppers on it too, actually. And I got two poblanos. They're quite small still. Two poblano plants here, so we'll see how they turn out. Alright, so this year we've really struggling with the weeds. We decided to go with this mulch we got for free. And it's quite challenging to pull up the mulch, or pull up all the weeds with the mulch and not mix the mulch into the soil, which will most definitely cause a nitrogen deficiency like we already have a problem with. So and I think this may have brought in some more weeds with this mulch actually. We shall see. I think next year I'm going to go back to the weed fabric. If you see my previous year on the weed fabric, I get quite a bit of comments about that. Yes, the weed fabric is much more beneficial in my opinion. I was trying to go towards the more natural approach, but as you can see, our chickens are happy picking through all the weeds. But it is quite not what I had planned, because I'm spending a lot of time out here just pulling tons of weeds. But there's a lot of opinions about the mulch or weed fabric, etc. Everybody has their own opinion. It's not working for us as far as the mulch goes. As you can see, between pulling out the weeds and digging through the mulch, you're just easily mixing this into the native soil and causing a lot more issues than it is good. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this mulch again. Thankfully over here in this other bed we didn't have time to actually add the mulch to this bed, and it's actually doing much better without the mulch. Very few weeds because the plants have been able to grow a lot better without the mulch there taking up the nutrients, and they grew before the weeds had a chance to really grow, and thus there is no weeds here, a very minimal amount. So another problem we have really bad is Bermuda grass here in North Texas, and as you can see along the fence line and everywhere there's just weeds. And the grass is just ridiculous. This Bermuda grass, you just cannot kill it unless you really use a chemical weed killer. You can pull it up and pull it up. You can even spray this 20% vinegar, which I've done. It does yellow the grass, but it inevitably comes back. As you can see, it is back. But overall, we're doing pretty good with the rest of the garden here. Chickens are enjoying it. And over here I have planted some other vining items on this row, cucumbers and other items here, so we'll see how that goes. Right here, this little plant, two plants here, is the tomatillos. Don't quite have them ready yet on there, but so far so good in our garden. It's getting quite warm. Tomatoes will start tapering off, burning up as the summer continues. They'll stop setting fruit once it gets above 90 degrees. And I think we'll have more than enough tomatoes as it is. We got tons on the plant, tons in the house, and we've already picked quite a few more here. Here's our last batch of garlic we pulled up here. Let's go inside and see our garlic that has been drying. Right in here we've had our garlic that we pulled up, I guess a couple of weeks ago now, and it's been drying. As you can see, it's got a little bit more longer to go. It's still a little green here. This is the elephant garlic, but as you can see, they're getting dried up. We'll cut the tops off of these and store these pretty soon. So these are looking really good. We've been using a lot of this already, so this won't last very long for us. I'll save some of this garlic to replant for next year. And then of course we got some of these shallots here. These look really good. These are dried up, ready to store as well. And these are the gray shallots here that is also are ready for storage. So they're looking pretty good too. So there is a quick update on the garlic and shallots that are drying out. Alright, so just here's a few of our tomatoes that we've been picking through our garden. We're eating these as fast as I can. Obviously, I'm adding tomatoes to everything you can imagine. Every time I cook, I'm just throwing tomatoes in something. We have just so many tomatoes. These are just so good, these small ones. We've got several varieties here. As you can see, nice, wonderful colors. And then over here, just a ton of varieties. I love growing a variety of different kinds of tomatoes. Not all the plants make as many as others, but as you can see, we've had some rain here recently. There's causing some of them to start splitting. This is just caused from quite a bit of raining. They'll start growing faster than the tomato wants, and they will split. So not too many of those. I picked a few peppers for tonight for dinner. I like to leave them on there until we need them. They'll be fine out there until we need them. And of course we have the beans on top here. These are a French filet bean. The ones on the bottom are the pole beans. So if you haven't ever grown a tomato, I'm sure if you're watching this you grow tomatoes, highly recommend growing your own tomatoes. So much more flavor, and they are so much better than any kind of store-bought tomato. So there's just a little bit of what's inside our house as far as tomatoes go. Here's our onions we harvested a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, they're all dried up now. We've actually ate quite a few of these already, but as you can see, this is when they're ready to store. The tops are dried off. We'll just cut the top off, trim off the roots, and these onions will be ready to store. So this year I just laid them out. Usually I'll tie them up and hang them up on my my weather gauge post here, but this year I just laid them on top of the chicken coop and just let them dry out, do their thing. We've been eating them so fast, I really wasn't worried about storing them very long. These onions here I just pulled up here today, some small red onions, so we'll let those just chill out there as well. And so yeah, there's their onions. That's what they look like once they dry out a little bit. Pretty simple, no big deal drying out onions. Just cut the tops off and there they are. Of course, one more thing let me show you here. This is this onion here went to a flower. As you can see, these onions really never dry out. Now, if I cut this onion in half, you'll notice it has a stem growing through the middle, and these onions will not store at all. You must eat these immediately. So there's our onions. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more on our gardening adventure. Make it a great day.